I encourage you to send in questions now. We already have some coming in, and we'll continue to hear more from Angelique as a representative of the city of Moncton. I'm going to ask this one almost as a joke, but it's not a joke though. But it's an easy one though, Angelique. So please, which province is Moncton in?
That's actually a really good question. So Moncton is in the province of New Brunswick. So we're neighbors with the city of St. John as well. So you would have heard Ian speak as well. So the province of New Brunswick overall is very motivated in welcoming newcomers to all of our cities. And so you'll find Moncton and the greater Moncton area within the province of New Brunswick.
And I believe you said earlier that Moncton is the largest city in New Brunswick. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
So let's get a little bit into employment and subsectors. Someone would like to know, Angelique, what's the scope of early childhood educators for the region in terms of employment opportunities? And perhaps you can elaborate more on licensure or training. I'm not sure, you're the expert, but what is the scope of early childhood educators in the Moncton area?
So there is a lot of positions in that sector. So I guess the interesting part about Greater Moncton is the fact that our population is growing so quickly. We do have a lot of demands when it comes to early childhood educators, as well as teachers, and teachers specifically around the Francophone school system as well. So when it comes to early childhood educators, there is a certification, and I wouldn't want to get into too much detail on that, but they can find that online. It's actually on the province of New Brunswick website, early childhood education. There is a variety of schools within the Greater Moncton area, colleges that offer that diploma as well. So I'd certainly encourage them to look at our MBCC and CCMB, as well as some of our private colleges in terms of that certification. However, when it comes to working in that sector, it is in demand within the Greater Moncton area.
Great. We ironically will sort of continue along the theme of education with the next question. It's more about settlement, though. It's a settlement question. So this person states they're going to land in New Brunswick by September of this year, and they were planning on moving to Moncton, but they believe that there aren't any colleges in Moncton, and this was a bit of a dream crasher for them, as their children should be of university age in just 2 years' time, and this person is a bit upset because then they'll have to move their family. Is that accurate, Angelique?
No, actually, there's a lot of universities and colleges available, both English and French. So we have, for instance, Mount Allison University, which is about a 25-minute or so drive from Moncton, and it's actually been consistently ranked one of the best undergraduate universities in Canada year after year. We also have Crandall University, New Brunswick Community College, as well as a large variety of other private institutions as well. So I had mentioned a little bit earlier, we have actually about 8,000 post-secondary students within the Greater Moncton area. So there's certainly a lot of opportunities around post-secondary education within the Greater Moncton area. So I would certainly encourage that individual to take a look at our immigration website that's actually listed on the bottom of the slide here on the screen, Greater Moncton Immigration. And there's a list of all of the post-secondary institutions within the Greater Moncton area. So I'd certainly encourage them to visit that. And also feel free to reach out to me as well, and I can also connect them with some of those post-secondary institutions if they're choosing to move to Moncton. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. We encourage you to engage Moncton's website, as Angelique said, to touch upon a number of things, but certainly in this case, post-secondary educational institutions, as there are many great institutions in Moncton, and unfortunately, this person wasn't aware of that, but now they are, hopefully, as a result of Angelique and the resources that are available to newcomers from the city of Moncton. So, we've had one or two questions touch upon this. Angelique, for French language, for people whose first language is French, which is an official language of Canada, as is English, is French language, is it a barrier for finding a job in Moncton? What's your opinion?
So Moncton is an officially bilingual city, and we are extremely motivated in ensuring that we have Francophone immigrants move to the greater Moncton area. And actually, Moncton, I believe, is the second in terms of cities attracting Francophone immigrants for Canada outside of Quebec. So we are very supportive when it comes to Francophone immigrants. We also have a Francophone settlement agency here called CAFI that are there to support Francophone immigrants. When it comes to speaking French, it is a huge asset within the greater Moncton area. So if there are newcomers looking for employment, when you speak both official languages as well, that can be a great asset to you. Whereas a lot of the positions are, when you look, they're English, and then there's also bilingual positions as well, and like I had said, at times French. Also, when you move to our community as well, if you are Francophone, you do have the opportunity to learn English as well. So our settlement agency called Magma actually provides free language training for Francophone immigrants, as well as some other private and community organizations. So there's certainly a lot of opportunities if you want to learn either English or French. There's language training opportunities available to you. And then again, for employment, if you do speak French, there is also a lot of employment opportunities when it comes to, especially if you are bilingual English and French.
Thank you, Angelique. The next question is along the thread of French, for Francophones. This person states they've registered for the session for Francophones in Casablanca, and does this session give a connection with New Brunswick? What I think they're referencing is some outreach probably from at the federal level for recruitment of Francophone immigrants to Canada. I'll paraphrase the question, or perhaps you can share a resource for Francophones that would like to connect with employers or immigrant settlement services or employment services for Francophones that are still, Casablanca is in Morocco, for example. So if someone's overseas, how can they, as a Francophone, what resources can they leverage?
So that's a great question. So the province of New Brunswick is very motivated, again, because we are a bilingual province, in attracting Francophone immigrants. So they regularly go on job fairs around the world. And so you'll find a full listing of some of those events. And this individual might actually be registered already with one of the province's missions, which is they often do go to Morocco. And so you could find that on livinginnb.ca, which gives a full list of missions that the province of New Brunswick is going on. Now, you do need to apply to attend, so that's and be invited. So that is a point. But when it comes to Francophone services and settlement services, I guess another important aspect, especially if this individual is coming from Morocco, is that we also have a very strong Moroccan association within the greater Moncton area. So there's many individuals moving from Morocco and Algeria, for instance, to the greater Moncton area, because you can live in French, and you'll, should you choose, and also you'll have the opportunity to work in both official languages as well. So I guess that when it comes to the province of New Brunswick, that is a big focus for our provincial government, is ensuring that we not only attract newcomers from the Atlantic immigration pilot perspective, but also ensuring that we maintain our linguistic balance Francophone immigration is key, both to the city of Moncton and to the province of New Brunswick to continue to grow and flourish.
Thank you, Angelique. Yeah, as a Canadian, I mean, I'm aware a lot of people don't know, but New Brunswick and the city of Moncton certainly are truly bilingual cities and a bilingual province. Now, moving on, a really interesting question for a career, a new career, Angelique. Someone asks, can a permanent resident, a PR, someone who has their new PR status, can a PR take up entrepreneurship as a career in Moncton?
So when it comes to entrepreneurism, we have a lot of available support services. So when it comes to starting a business, absolutely, there's a lot of opportunities, and that's certainly the benefit of moving to a medium-sized city and region like Greater Moncton, is that there's still so much opportunity to start businesses here. And with a growing population, it's more and more clients every year that you can have access to. Should this individual choose to move to our community, there are actually support services in place to help provide them guidance on starting their business within the Greater Moncton area. So again, you'll find a list of those services on the Immigration Greater Moncton website. But our partners at 3+, that is a big focus of theirs. So absolutely, in terms of starting a business, great opportunity, great region in order to do that. Fast-growing economy and a fast-growing population really is a great opportunity and great opportunities around success for immigrants starting their businesses within the Greater Moncton area. And just so that individual does know, and everyone else on the call or on the virtual screen here, is that many immigrants are deciding to move to Greater Moncton to start their business. And we've had a lot of success stories within our region of immigrants that have successfully opened businesses that are thriving here. So they would absolutely be well supported. And also we would ensure that we would connect them to the services they need so that they can be successful in our region.
Thank you, Angelique. And I would remind the viewers that if you didn't quite catch some of the resources or websites that Angelique just mentioned for entrepreneurs, please do engage the Moncton booth. Angelique and her colleagues will be there today. And it would be great to dig a little deeper into entrepreneurship with the City of Moncton and Angelique's team. It's a great opportunity to have them live today. So moving on. Do I need to have a certification first before applying for a registered nursing job in Moncton?
So that is a accredited program when it comes to nursing. So there is a nursing association. So I would certainly encourage the individual, anyone that needs to get their credentials recognized or are coming through a registered program such as nursing, to take a look at the Nursing Association's website and resources. And again, on our Immigration Greater Moncton website, if you go to the employment section, there is a section there on board credential recognition. And you'll see basically it links to the provincial government's website where you'll see a full list of registered programs, and so that would be through the the Nursing Association of New Brunswick, and likely, yes, you would need to get your credentials recognized, absolutely.
Yes, I think you would. This is a great question, and it comes up every BCE, and it is an accredited licensed profession in Canada. Sometimes different regulations for different provinces. Angelique might know better than myself. A path for some prospective nurses, I would say to the viewer, while you're working on your accreditation for the province of New Brunswick, I believe a pathway is to start working as a PSW, or personal support worker. What are your comments on that, Angelique?
I believe that is, and in our booth, actually, we do have Shanix they've had some positions listed. So I'd certainly encourage the individual to take a look at the employment opportunities listed at the Greater Moncton booth. And just one of our employers, Shanix, is listed there. But when it comes to the health sector in New Brunswick overall, and certainly within the Greater Moncton area, there is a wide variety of positions available. So although our economy and our population is growing very quickly, we also have a lot of people that are retiring and also obviously growing older. So there is an immense need in New Brunswick and in the Greater Moncton area for people to work within the health sector. So I'd certainly encourage anyone interested in working in health or any other sector really to come visit us at our booth where we can spend more time talking with you, and my colleagues at 3 Plus and on Opportunities New Brunswick and I are very motivated to speak with you. There's a few employment opportunities that are listed there, but know that there are many, many other employers, hundreds of employers that are hiring. So likely, depending on what your skills and expertise are, we certainly have a variety of different positions awaiting you within the Greater Moncton area. We'd be thrilled to speak with you about those.
Well said, Angelique. And I would remind everyone that it's just so important to get your profile with Angelique or Teresa and their team at the Greater Moncton booth, because as Angelique said, the jobs that are in the Greater Moncton booth today and tomorrow don't necessarily reflect, what's coming down the pipeline in Moncton and the Greater Moncton area for the next few months.